What's up, everybody? It's another episode of Coast to Coast. I am your host, Pegs. I got Bo to my right. We got Stat Guy down below. A surprise guy. We didn't know if he was going to have internet or whatever because he had a whole bunch of new growth coming from his yard. And Jay, who has just realized that he has beachfront property in the middle of Houston. So, what's up, guys? How is everybody doing today?
I mean, we're good on the West Coast. We haven't, we got a little bit of rain, but we haven't had tornadoes. So, all things considered, not bad.
Yeah. I saw the damage that StatGuy took, and StatGuy, man, I'm really thankful that that's all you took, man, because that could have been so much worse, Bubba. And so you kind of got out of that easily. And so I'm so happy for you, Bubba. And of course, I took off some damage, but I know a lot of my family members and personal friends that have lost everything in this, and it was all across, the U.S. I think we had like $5 billion, I think, in Houston alone. So, my thoughts and prayers are with everybody that has lost everything, and I hope these insurance claims and adjusters and things of those natures can come out and take care of you guys. But our thoughts and prayers are with you.
Too bad you weren't in Sheboygan this time around. 95%.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
12% of that city's without power right now.
95% of the city is without power.
Yeah, Sheboygan got absolutely just plastered last night.
Well, thank God there's only like 17 people that live in Sheboygan. So
there's actually 47,000 people that live in Sheboygan.
I'm just trying to make a little bit of lights. I'm not trying to make fun of anybody from Sheboygan or Oconomowoc or any of those other places in Wisconsin that takes lettered roads to get there because they don't believe in numbers over there. They only believe in lettered roads.
Realistically, though, this was like the longest thunderstorm I think I've ever endured. Like when we have severe storms up here, they last like 45 minutes to an hour and then they're kind of gone. Yeah. This storm started at 8:30 and ended at 1:15 in the morning. Wow. It was ridiculous. This constant lightning, heavy winds, rain, and hail just for like 4 hours.
Well, and you said you were working in it. Did any of the pieces of drywall fly away?
A piece of the drywall snapped in half because of the wind gusts.
Oh yeah,
you would lift it up at the moment you start turning. That wind gust would just snap it right in half. I'm like, this is fun.
Well, that's good because now those little pieces. You need those little pieces for other spots.
I took a piece that broke in half and I put it on top of my forklift and then I just stretch wrapped it as a roof.
Hey, there you go.
The hail was starting.
That's using your head. That's ingenuity at its finest.
That hail was starting to hurt after a while, so I'm like, yeah, we're taking this as a roof.
There you go.
I mean, it was already wet, so why not, right?
Bro, you should have stated a couple of weeks ago when this thing first kicked off, man. Like the next day, it was a 24-hour just craziness. And then the next day, when we could actually get out and start looking around, we went out to the entrance of the subdivision. When we made the right to go towards town, and my wife's like, "Is the road gone?" I said, "I don't know, babe, but you might want to slow the hell down." And I kid you not, man, the whole damn road was just gone. I would say a good 30-foot section was just no longer there anymore. And the water, because what was happening, the water was going underneath the road and just eroding everything out. So the road was just imploding. And that's all over Houston. I don't know if you guys were getting anything like that, but it was crazy.
We have trees. We don't have too many roads that flooded. We just have trees that make good for an obstacle course right now.
Well, it's actually the trees that stops what he's talking about from happening. So, ultimately, if there were more trees in Houston, like especially in the area where he's discussing, you wouldn't have that type of erosion. The tree, the branches, not the branches, the roots would actually deter the water and send it and throw it to another spot where there isn't trees. Yeah. So it's not like that the trees are stopping the problem; they're just pushing the problem.
Yeah.
So,
and the biggest problem for erosion, for us at least out here, was sand. Like in Houston is predominantly, our soil content is predominantly mostly sand and a few other clay and a few other things. So when you got predominantly a sand-based foundation, I mean, all over Houston, that's all it does is erode. I mean, the water just moves it and does what it does with it. I wish we had more actual topsoil and less of the sand.
It's just the sadness that bonds it together.
It is. It was sad, man. I'm telling you.
Well,
but thankfully, everything's great.
Anytime you're in a really sandy area, if there's a lot of water or a lot of wind, honestly, the erosion is crazy.
I asked Dubai.
And I think that's all over the Gulf. I think that's all over the Gulf. I think the whole Gulf of Mexico is, obviously it's predominantly sand. I mean, the bayous of Houston and of course the bayous and stuff of and the marshes of even Florida, all around that area. It's just all sandy. That's why there's no basements here.
There's a dead end road like a mile away from our house that you can't even get down right now because I think Mother Nature must really hate that road. There's an SUV that ended up in a tree house.
Nice.
Oh wow!
Well, the SUV is actually inside the tree house
day.
right now on the tree. There's another tree
That's amazing.
it's about a 35-foot tall tree, and the root itself is probably like a 10-foot circumference. That entire thing got uprooted out of the ground and is laying in the living room of a house.
Got you.
So I think Mother Nature really
That
hated
reminds me of Harvey.
What?
Yeah, that reminds me when Harvey hit Houston, and we were going down the highway to Galveston, and I told my wife, "Is that a tugboat in the middle of the freeway?" She's like, "Yeah." Like, damn, that's how bad it was. There were tugboats stranded on the damn roads. It was incredible. I've never seen in my life anything like that.
Got you.
Crazy.
Well,
Mother
and
Nature.
Robert and Chad, we're going to get to those in just a minute. We're talking about how Dubai doing their different things with the weather patterns has affected finally the U.S. in both Houston and Wisconsin, because
They're
I mean
shooting
Dubai is the one who's messed this all up. They wanted to get a little
Well,
bit of rain.
Live Golf.
They
I
threw a
blame
little
Live
bit of
Golf.
stuff up here in the sky over here and says, "Oh, it'll rain over here," and it ain't stopped raining since. And now it's finally made it all the way around the globe and finally hit Houston and Wake.
It's coming
I
your way,
blame Live
baby.
Golf. Live
coming
Golf
your
came
way,
to
babe.
Houston literally during that time period. I blame Live Golf in Saudi. I do. There's something going on over there.
But well, I'm going to talk about some good news because, and everybody will be just about happy about this, that the Phillies did break their streak of 14 losses in a row. We finally beat the Rangers for the first time in 10 years. We have a pitcher who has pitched 10 games, is 9-0 with a 1.36 ERA. So that's like amazing stuff right there.
Absolutely.
So,
I never thought I'd say that, but thank you to the city of Philadelphia for doing and helping the Astros with the Yankees, Frankie, who told me you were going to help me out, have already lost 2 games to Seattle.
Yeah.
So thank you. At least Philly's doing
Look at
something.
the Mariners go. Look at the Mariners go, taking the first 2 games against the Yankees.
so there you go. You've gotten your 3 wins. So
Exactly.
far it's a win.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see if you guys can actually come out of this with a winning record. With another win today, you guys would win the series of 7 games. And so, I mean, it's like I said, I was at the game yesterday. It was a tougher game than usual, but we have right now the front runner for the Cy Young, I got to imagine, with him going 9-0 with a 1.36 ERA, and I think he's got close to 100 strikeouts now. Every time he goes out and pitches, it's at least 7 innings, just about. You know what I mean? I think out of those 10 games, he's got somewhere in the neighborhood of 68 innings pitched, I think, which is pretty good. You know what I mean? For 10 outings. I mean, he's the smallest he's gone is 5 innings. He has done a complete game and has gone 8 innings a couple of times. So it's just his stat line is pretty amazing right now.
Well, the 136 in the pros is incredible.
Yeah,
if
especially
you got a
after
136 ERA and you stay under 2 by the time this is all done, you there's no way you should not get the Cy Young, especially with the record
you know
that
as funny as it sounds though, and I'm gonna I'll come back to the Phillies in a second. It seems like good pitching right now is at a premium. I mean, right now there is a lot of good pitchers out there. Sale for Atlanta has gone 5 outings, and I think he's got like out of those 5 outings, it's like a 0.76 ERA out of those 5 outings, and he's gone 5-0.
Yeah,
The
no
guy
doubt.
from Chicago. The guy from
Yeah,
Chicago's doing the same thing.
Imanaga 0.84 ERA in his 9 starts.
Yeah, I mean, so there's something going on right now with pitchers.
Look at Garrett Crochet right now for the White Sox. His ERA is like a 3.76, but his last 4 starts, he's gone 24 scoreless innings.
And the White Sox lost all those games.
Nope, they won last night 5-0. They won a game for him last night.
I was just
I'll
making
tell
a
you
joke.
what, after watching Josh Hader last night, man, I got new respect for that guy, man. He went 2 innings last night, struck out 4. I mean, gave up nothing. I didn't really. And it's that guy. I gotta give props to. I know you were talking about, Hader when he left Milwaukee, going over to San Diego, and I never really watched him all that much. But this year, I've been watching him with the Astros, and the guy's just amazing, man.
He throws like Randy Johnson, just the way his arm is and how his shoulder is. But he's not the Hader that he once was, but he's still a top 3 closer when he's on.
Yeah, he's a little older now. That age catching up with you a little bit, but I really was impressed with the guy. Just had good command. Managed to play it real well. Was able to locate his pitches on the corners. It was really impressive.
Speaking of haters, though, the ones watching the show have not fallen off at all.
That is correct. They are always here. And to answer your question, Robert, I think that there is something to be said about the batting. I feel like that there are people doing these, or teams that have taken on the 3-run home run. That's the way everything's going right now. It used to be everybody wants to hit a grand slam. At least that was how they structured their lineup. Now it's 3-run home runs, and I think that thought process has really changed the way pitchers actually pitch and hitters actually go out and hit. And that being said, when you have a small ball team, a team that hits slap hits and just gets the ball into play some, they're the ones that are the anomaly now in comparison to the way these teams are structured. And there's not many teams like the Phillies right now. The Phillies they have never done a 33-game stretch like they have right now. You know what I mean? And that's part of what's going on. I mean, they are 27-6. The best that they've ever done in 32 games was 26-6. They never went 27-6 before. That changed yesterday.
Yeah.
Along with the 14-game losing streak and 10-year losing streak against the Rangers. So, got to keep it going tonight. It's just because you won one doesn't mean you win a series. Win tonight, we win the series, and then we could worry about the sweep. Because I've already told a couple of Rangers fans, now you're going to feel like what it's like to get swept.
You can't jinx your team like that.
You know what? I'm putting it out there. So,
way to be the reason you don't.
Yeah, the stupid launch angle shit is what's ruined baseball.
Yeah,
like all these teams preach the stupid launch angle crap now, as opposed to just put the bat on the ball. I mean, you look at how hard pitchers are throwing nowadays. You make contact with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, it's going to go over the fence. It might be a line drive, but it's going to go very far if you can square up a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. So you don't need to be uppercut swinging for the fences on every single pitch.
Well,
but I think Tucker last night had a multi. I was going to say, I think Tucker last night had a 2 home run game, and his launch angles are around the 31 to 34 area, and his speed was like 109, 104. So yeah, you're right. I mean, it's almost like a damn line drive. But by the way, Tucker, you're leading the MLB in home runs, so I'm still happy for you.
Hey, I look at it this way. I don't care what angle it gets over the fence. If it gets over the fence,
awesome. Well, and they're saying the sweet spot for launch angle, and I only learned this yesterday because Brad Marsh, with a 2.65 ERA, is hitting, I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 76% of his batted balls. This isn't just hits. This is balls that he's actually hitting are in the launch angle sweet spot of 8 to 32.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't even know there was such a thing the sweet spot of the launch angle,
Right.
and that somebody's tracking it for everybody who hits in baseball, so that if you get it in that sweet spot, you're getting it marked down as, hey, you hit the sweet spot, and he is 9th in the league.
Well, you lose a lot of yardage the higher it goes up. So I mean, it kind of makes sense. You
course.
want that launch angle to be down low. So yeah, I get that.
Except when it's in Milwaukee and there's tornadoes, all you got to do is hit it up in the air, and it just gets taken out of the park. So
it happens.
So, and Chris, it's not such a hot take. The Bengals ain't winning the Super Bowl, but I do have them going to the Super Bowl. So your hot take is a little late there, buddy. Just so that you know. But they ain't winning it this year. Sorry, that's going to be the Eagles. I do have the Eagles and the Bengals in the Super Bowl, though. Interestingly enough.
Really?
Well, we got the top 4.
So you don't see the Chiefs then. So you don't see the
I have
Chiefs?
the Chiefs.
I mean, you think it's?
I have the Chiefs losing in the AFC Championship game.
Wow.
Hey, listen, Chris. You better have an offensive line, Chris. You better have an offensive line that protects Joe Burrow and make sure that he can actually play games rather than get it on his ass sacked every friggin' game, like more sacks than anybody who's ever joined the league for the 2 years that he's been here. Okay, so don't tell me, Chris, that you think that you got everything ready to go, because the Bengals still smell like shit right now.
You better hope that T. Higgins stays healthy. You better hope that T. Higgins stays healthy because Tyler Boyd's not there anymore. You better hope that you have a running back that can replace Joe Mixon, because that's a big loss to the offense.
All of a sudden, David Carr enters the chat. Talking about sacks.
You know what's interesting to me? And Pags, this is your guy, Jalen Hurts. He lives out here in Humble, Texas, not too far from me. I didn't realize this, though. He lives with his parents in a home that's like $215,000. It literally looks like a home that, one of my family members would live in. I mean, just a normal average home. This is a guy that $255 million, but just talk about it. That's impressive. That's humble guy. He's not flashy. He's not anything like that. It's crazy.
Well, you know what? He's saving his money.
Yeah.
I don't know for what, but he's saving it.
Global domination. Who knows?
I want you to rule the world. Yes. He's like Smithers.
No, but it really was. It blew me back. I thought this guy would have, a multi-billion-dollar mansion out in Sugarland or something. But to live in the humble beginnings, like an humble, if you knew what humble looks like, you would not think that a guy like Jalen Hurts.
Well, you know what, though? I like that some, because first off, his first coach was his father. His father is a quarterback's coach. Probably going over all of the different stuff that he did last year. He's got a very humble and strict upbringing, and you could tell that from him. Which is why when things started to go bad last year, he just kept it to himself. You know what I mean? He's not a complainer. He's not a crier. And that's one of the things. That's one of those things that is lost a little bit in the NFL. When these players get egos, and those egos make them cry. You know what I mean? I ain't getting the ball enough. My quarterback stinks. I got, my pussy hurts. Something is always going.
That's
wrong.
Athletes in general. That's in every damn sport. They all cry like that. But you're right. Jalen doesn't do that kind of stuff, man.
So you could tell when he's not got it all, like when he's not focused on football. You could tell.
Yeah.
So, and Chris, hey, listen, I'm only playing games like I said, I literally do have the Bengals going to the Super Bowl this year. So I'm a Joe Burrows fan. I think that Joe Burrows is somebody who you're going to have to watch. He could possibly get at least the MVP of the AFC. I don't know that he'll get it for the entire league, and I'm not calling who is the MVP, because I don't think it's going to be Jalen Hurts. In fact, I would prefer it not be Jalen Hurts. I want him to just be, really good this year. Not MVP, just really, really good.
Yeah,
So
I feel like when them accolades hit, like when those athletes hit those accolades, they kind of tend to tailor off. I think you almost want to keep them hungry to try to get that. Or
Yeah, you don't want them to
doing
win the
anything.
MVP because you're not winning the Super Bowl if they do.
Oh, there you go.
well, that's not
No, that's
true because last year's MVP won the Super Bowl.
True, but generally,
The Stanley Cup Eastern Conference Finals. And I tell you, I am after the game tonight. I am watching that game. I have a friend of mine who is a bartender at Xfinity Live who was from New York and is a big Rangers fan. And I am. Like I said, I love good hockey. I can't stand the Rangers, but I love good hockey, and I'm a big fan of Zibanejad. But I also have a spot in my heart for Bobrovsky, and that's who it's going to be the Rangers offense versus Bobrovsky, and that's what this series is going to be all about. Can I tell you who's going to win it? I do not know. I do not know. If the Rangers can put 3 or 4 goals on Bobrovsky in game 1 and game 2, I would say that the Rangers win the series. That Bobrovsky won't be able to recover from that. If they can only score 2 goals in a game, I would look to see that Florida is going to be the winner of this series. And that's as best as I can explain it right there. I think Bobrovsky is going to be the one that does it. And I hate to even say this, but I am actually pulling for Dallas to beat Edmonton. I can't stand Connor McDavid. I was so hoping that Vancouver would get there and then I could have no skin in the game. But I am not a Connor McDavid fan. I think he is a douchebag. And I would rather him, lose and lose in royal fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So now you guys have Brady Tkachuk, right, on your team there in Dallas?
So I'm Paul.
Brady Tkachuk, isn't he play for Dallas?
Yes, I believe so. Let me double tap that.
Not
You don't even know who plays for your damn hockey team, Jay. What?
I told you I just got into the damn sport like less than a year ago, man. Calm down.
Oh, Brady's in Ottawa. Okay, so has he got the other Tkachuk?
Matthew Tkachuk's in Florida.
Matthew's in Florida. I can't stand him. Matthew Tkachuk is an asshole. I can't stand him. He reminds me of Matthew Barnaby. And if anybody who knows hockey, Matthew Barnaby was just that guy. He was a hate the face. He got under your skin. He was just an instigator and an agitator, and he could just piss you off on the ice. He's one of those guys that but he was a good hockey player. He was one of those guys you hated seeing on the other team. And he never won anything, but he was really good at getting under your skin. And I thought Travis Konechny was going to be like that. Travis Konechny's got a lot more skill than he does, though. So that's what happens when you have more skill. You do a little less talking. But Travis Konechny was also one of those agitators and instigators and things like that. So, and so, Josh, when I tell you that I prefer. When I say that I can't stand somebody and I hate somebody, I prefer they not be on my team. And the reason why I do that is because I never want to root for them. They could be great players. I'm a Sidney Crosby hater. I hate Sidney Crosby. I never want him on my team because I always want to hate him. I'm putting Matthew Tkachuk in that same category. I always want to hate him. I don't ever want him on my team. Do I think he would help my team if he was on it? Absolutely, but I don't want him on my team. You know what I mean? But that's part of the reason. That's part of the respect to the hate. I don't, like I said, it's rare when I hate somebody. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan of Connor McDavid. I don't hate him. I think he's an asshole crybaby bitch. That's what I think about with him.
That's like the Rangers for me. Garcia with the Rangers. Great. Obviously, he was the MVP of the World Series, and he would be great on Houston. But he did so much disrespectful stuff to Houston with the backflips and all this and that. I could never have him on my team. I could never root for that guy.
So, and for you to say, Brad, that the Florida Panthers are going to beat the New York Rangers, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I feel like this is a coin flip. This is a coin flip series. Either one could win this series, and it's going to depend. It's really going to depend on Panarin and Zibanejad versus Bobrovsky. Those are the three guys you're going to have to worry about because I think Shesterkin is going to give up some goals. I mean, he's a good goalie. Do I think he's an elite goalie? Do I think he could carry you to a Stanley Cup? Not really. You're going to need some goals behind him. You need to score goals to win some of those games. They got good defense. I know that they're going to try to set the tone today, so they're going to be playing, Lemke or whatever his name, Lempe or whatever his name is, because Florida does have a bigger team. Yes, Matt, Kachuk has helped them get on the board there, but they have gone as far as Bobrovsky has taken them.
Yeah.
So Bobrovsky is their main guy there. They're going to score 2.7 goals a game. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. You're going, if you score 3 goals a game in Florida, 9 times out of 10 you're going to win. So if they score 3 goals, Florida wins most of those games. That's why the magic number is 3 goals from the Rangers. If they score 3 goals or more, they'll win the series. Florida will not win the series, but it's going to be a very tough series. Very tough series.
It's a series I think goes 7. I'm giving the edge to the Panthers to pull it off, but I think the Stanley Cup is going to be Dallas versus Florida.
Rempe, thank you. I knew I had it close. Rempe, whatever his name is. Like I said, the one guy who fought the Flyers, and that was like an old style hockey fight. That was a great fight. I remember watching that firsthand. I mean, that was just beautiful. Is the over-under for Vegas?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I'd be willing to bet it's probably 2.5. So 2.5 goals is likely the over-under for goals scored by the Rangers. So, because if they win, like I said, they score 3 goals, they're going to win the game. And that's what I think. It's, if Florida scores 3 goals, most of the time they're going to win.
Hey, Pags.
So.
Good news is I just saw that it looks like Pittsburgh's getting the draft in 26, so you won't have to travel very far. You get in your car.
I already got that email. Yes, the NFL emails me directly every time they make a decision. They say, Jamie, just let you know, we're going to Pittsburgh.
That's right. We want to run this by you.
Well, no, the over under, that's for over under for all goals. You'd have to go to the team specific. And I'm saying that, yes, because I think the games are going to end 3-2. A lot of these games are going to end 3-2, maybe 4-2 for an empty net goal. So, and that's really that's what you're playing against. There's no spread of 1.5 because they go on puck lines. It's a little different.
I think the biggest X factor in that entire series, though, is Jonathan Quick. Jonathan Quick, all time against the Florida Panthers, is 17-4. But they're not going to take out Shesterkin unless he has a really bad game. That's what I'm saying. I do think Shesterkin's going to have a bad game, and I think they're going to put Quick in, and then I think Quick might have the hot. Because look what happened last year with Florida. Alex Lyon all of a sudden came in for Sergei Bobrovsky at the end of the year, and they kept Alex Lyon in there for pretty much the entire playoffs because he had the hot hand.
Right.
I can see that happening in this, not the rest of the playoffs, but I can see that happening in this series where if Shesterkin goes and has the first 2 bad games, they go with Jonathan Quick in game 3, and then I could see them sticking with Jonathan Quick just because of his success against Florida.
Well, and everybody's got the Oilers beating Dallas, so I don't know about that either. I'm just not 100% certain on that. For some reason, I don't know of anybody who's even on Dallas.
You got Jason Robinson, Rupe Hitz, Miro Heiskanen, Joe Pavelski.
Joe Pavelski is the first name that I actually recognize.
One of the Suter brothers, Ryan Suter, I think they have.
Yeah.
Was it Pavelski that got injured in the playoffs?
Who's their goalie
last year?
Jay Gottner.
Yeah, see, that name doesn't even strike fear in me either. So.
And then they got the old Penguins goalie too as their backup, Matt Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's soft as margarine. So.
You should know Jamie Benn.
I do know Jamie Benn.
Jamie Benn is still on the team. I think he's actually the captain of the team.
I mean, I don't remember really many of the stars since Mike Modano, really. So, I go back to those days with that. No, I haven't really. And I know that they've been a good team, that they have gone to the Cup a couple of times. Um, we'll see. We'll see if they can actually make something happen. I hope they beat Edmonton, though. I'm actually pulling for them to beat Edmonton. Talking about a surprise. You want to talk about somebody pooping the bed? The Indiana Pacers last night pooped the bed. Pooped it big time. Should have won that game, blew it. They blew their chance to win this series. They needed to take that game. They needed to take game one. And they had it. 8.5 seconds left in the game. Pooped the bed. Pooped it. Poop, poop, poop.
I give Rick Carlisle credit, though. I mean, Rick Carlisle took the blame for it. He basically said that loss was on him, and it's the reason they lost. So I actually give him a lot of credit for at least taking the blame for that and be like, yep, we lost the game because of me.
Well, he was the one that went after the ball that was going to go out of bounds? Or is he the coach?
He's the coach. Rick Carlisle's the coach.
He should have called timeout when they were having a hard time.
That's what he said he should have did, and then he said that it's his fault that they didn't call a timeout, and he's like, ultimately, that's why we lost the game. I didn't keep our team composed when I needed to.
Right, and then really that last shot was bad. That obviously it was supposed to be Halliburton's shot, and they covered him like white on rice, and there was no chance for him to pass the ball. Like nobody moved. All you needed to do is get somebody out and let somebody take a shot, anything whatsoever.
Right.
Nothing at all. It was a bad poop. It was a bad poop. And I'm thinking that now Boston wins the series. You needed to take game one. They were rusty. I know they were up by 20 points, but when you have the lead with 12 seconds left to go in the game, you better win it.
Yeah.
You know, they were up by 5 points.
Yeah.
5 points.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the guy from Boston made a great three. He made a great three. You know, and I was getting all excited because I'm like, all right, they're up by 3 points. There's 10 seconds left to go in this game. They got this game. All they got to do is inbound the pass. And like the fact that he didn't call timeout, bad. And then the fact that, obviously it got knocked out by the Boston guy, and the guy went to actually save it. It didn't go out of bounds yet. And he touched it and knocked it out of bounds. I'm like, you dummy.
Yep. Yeah. Gift wrapping the game.
And then he made that guy in Boston made that great three. Still 5.7 seconds left. Let's inbound the ball. Let's make it happen. Overtime. And the guy I was talking to, I'm like, listen, I'm leaving. I'm not sticking here to watch Boston win this game now. And I was right. Boston won the game. So, that's a heartbreaker. That just cost the Pacers a series.
I mean, I didn't think they were going to win the series anyway.
I didn't either, but that's kind of – you can tell that Indiana was a young team in that moment, outside of guys like Pascal Siakam, who's won an NBA championship before with Toronto. But you could tell, like, that was a young team that's not used to being in that kind of a moment. But Rick Carlisle has been in that kind of a moment before with the Pacers when he took them to the NBA Finals before. He's been in that kind of moment with Dallas before when he's had him in the conference finals. So that's why he's the one that shouldered the blame, and realistically, he's the one that should shoulder the blame because he's the one that's been in this position a lot more than the rest of his team.
Right. So, and the truth of the matter is that once you are having a hard time inbounding the pass, you need to throw it down the other side of the court. You can't have it on your side of the court. I just throw it up in the air, even if Boston gets the ball. You know what I mean? Yep. And they call a timeout right away. Actually, they couldn't call a timeout. They were out of timeouts. I think. I'm almost positive of that because, they were out of timeouts because their timeout was them reviewing who got the ball from the inbounds on the inbound. So ultimately they determined that Boston got the ball and they used that as the timeout because it took 2 minutes and they made up the play and did that, but they were out of timeouts. So they would have thrown the ball down there. Now you got Boston having the ball. Even if they caught that pass with 10 seconds left to go, they got to bring it up the court and hit the three, and it's like, you don't have a play set for that. So could he have made the three? Absolutely. Is it possible he missed that three and they lose that game? Absolutely.
Sure.
So, again, that's why they don't pay me a lot of money to be a basketball coach, because I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to that type of stuff. But I knew that they were about to get a 5-second violation, and that's why he threw the ball. And it was like, even then, you should have bounced past it.
Mhm.
Like, that's what should have happened. It should have been a bounce pass. Shouldn't have been a, hey, I'm throwing it to you like I'm leading the receiver down.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
You don't see very often though in the NBA is the bounce pass. You don't see that all that often.
Yeah, well, that would have been a better pass there.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you. I'm just saying that's just not something I've ever really seen.
I used to be a king of the bounce pass.
Yeah.
I was always very good at defending and playing point guard because I could pass the ball really well. Mostly because I could bounce pass. Because everybody's trying to do it like this. You bounce pass it to somebody. I mean, it really is. It really is a lost art.
Mhm.
But I would need somebody else to score points because I was not very good at that part.
Did you guys hear the developing story this morning in the Division III baseball?
Nope.
So Birmingham Southern is like one of the top baseball programs in Division III. I think they're like number 4 in the country, and they're getting set to host the Super Regional this weekend. Due to financial issues and low enrollment, their school is actually closing tomorrow. So should Birmingham Southern win their Super Regional and advance to the College World Series, they're going to be playing for a school that doesn't exist.
Wow.
Awesome.
So
that is awesome.
That's
So
kind of
they-
amazing. You kind of want them
if
to
they
win.
win it, I'm trying to figure out if they win it where that trophy goes, because the school's not
Right.
going to exist. Who gets to keep the trophy if they win it?
Yeah, I think they need to win it all just for entertainment purposes.
And the school's closing. School's closing and not getting bought out.
No, like they're closing. They have so much financial issues right now. They have low enrollment that they can't keep it open. So they said their last day open is this Friday. Super Regionals start Friday through Sunday. So if they end up winning their Super Regional, they go to the College World Series as basically a team that doesn't exist.
That's awesome.
All of a sudden,
And I guess the transfer portal is open for that team.
For everybody on that team, yep.
right.
Who gets to keep the trophy is my question. I want them to win the whole thing because I want to see where that trophy goes. Who gets to keep that trophy?
Whoever the MVP is of that team gets to keep the trophy. That's what I would say. Listen, whoever steps up the best, and likely there's one or two guys that are likely going to be the ones that would do that, but they should get the trophy.
So all of a sudden, that team is the Bishop Sycamore version.
Except this team is a little bit better than Bishop Sycamore. This team can actually win games.
And they don't have guys that are 25 on it.
That is kind of interesting. What was the other thing that we mentioned last night late and then said we would talk about today?
So there was a couple of things.
Here, let's start with this. Let's start with this because you gave me this. I want to just get it out here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so you got people from within the Dolphins organization launching some random strays for no real reason. But, yeah, so basically saying Fangio is not a good human.
Sounds like crying.
Right?
Sounds like crying. You had one of the most prolific offenses in the league last year, and your defense stunk because they were too busy crying that their coach wasn't friendly with them. That's what this tells me.
Yep.
Maybe
when you got somebody up your ass, you got to move and do stuff.
Yep.
So, it's interesting because it's interesting you put this up here. I have been talking about. So I obviously I was out with Brandon Graham, and I asked him about Vic, and he's like he likes him. He's a no nonsense guy. He's a no nonsense guy. And then I asked somebody else within the organization about him, and he says that Vic likes to use his veterans to ride the younger players, so that what Brandon Graham didn't tell me was that Vic is trying to use him to get the younger players motivated, and that there are a select few veterans on this team. You have Brandon Graham, you have Big Play Slay, you have Bradbury, who did not have a very good year last year, but is not a zone cover corner. He's more of a man-to-man corner. And then you have the safety that went over to Detroit and came back, uh, Garner Johnson. You know what I mean? And he's very outspoken. Those four are the veterans on this team. Everybody else is very young, very young. And that you're going to need those guys to motivate and get up in the ass of the rookies and newer players. And that's what Vic Fangio tries to do. Sounds to me like this guy was a little bitch crying about the fact that he didn't like getting yelled at.
Well, that's just the new trend of the NFL today. Look at all of the coaches that coach hard that don't have a job this year.
Yeah.
Because all the ones that didn't get rehired during this coaching carousel is all the guys that coach hard. Like all the friendly, team friendly guy or player friendly guys, they're all hired. Everybody that wants you to actually be better and will be in your face about it, they're on the outside looking in.
Yeah, and you know what? The pendulum always swings.
Yep.
You're going to have player-friendly coaches. You're going to wind up that you're going to have what happened last year. The defense was running the asylum there. The defense was doing whatever the hell they wanted to do, and they kept giving up 30 and 40 points a game. That's what happens. So now you got somebody who's going to get up in your ass. Somebody who's like, oh, you ain't playing good? All right, have a seat over here. Next. Let's go. Let's see what you got there, kid. Show me something. And then the other guy will stay on the bench, and you'll get the playing time.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a big thing. Like even in Dallas, when we had Wade Phillips, hardline coach, very disciplined, and our penalties were low. And then they got rid of Wade Phillips. They brought in Jason Garrett, softer-minded coach, wasn't as hard on the players, easy going, no discipline really. And then, you've seen ever since then, the way we've gone. 16 penalties against San Francisco when we lost against those guys. I think we had like 10 or 12 penalties in the first half alone. Lack of discipline, honestly. And that's what happened with the Cowboys. That's one of the issues that happened with the Cowboys. Wade Phillips was probably the last disciplinary.
They still don't have discipline.
They don't. Yeah, they don't. You're right.
They were one of the more penalized teams last year.
Yeah.
Can I address Rob's one comment at the bottom there?
Sure.
Of course.
So he was in New Jersey because that is where the Minnesota's team owner lives. And Minnesota's owner lives 2 miles outside of the Jets practice facility. So Justin Jefferson was in New Jersey this weekend meeting with Minnesota's team owner about a new contract. Has nothing to do with trade rumors. It has nothing to do with him and anything like that. That's the main reason why he was not at OTAs to start the week, because he's been meeting with the team owner in New Jersey to iron out a new contract.
There you go. But they're going to always start the trade rumors because that's how. So.
And it would be interesting. When your rental going to the Jets, you'd have to think they'd be favored to win that division.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's as long as Aaron Rodgers doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, but do they have enough to be able to trade for that? What are you trading? 2 first-round picks and a second and a third, like a second next year and a third this year. 25 and 26 is what I'm talking about. Obviously,
you'd be doing what the Rams did: shove all the chips to the middle, and you're a genius if it works, or you're the Saints if it doesn't. Right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
I mean, you're either the Rams and you get a ring, or you're the Saints and you wasted a lot of things and nothing happened. But again, if it works, it's not dumb if it works. That's the thing. So, I mean, if they were to mortgage their future and have to burn it down next year, but they got the ring, nobody in New York would be mad about it. They'd be like, we got a ring, right?
Now we suck again.
Yeah, exactly.
We got a ring. Now we suck for 10 years. All right.
Hey, but you got the ring. And so that's again, that's just one of those. If it works, nobody's going to think twice about it. It's like going for it on fourth down. If it works, you're a genius. If it doesn't, what are you doing? You should have kicked the field goal. So
That was what it was.
yeah. So I actually have that video. So share screen.
Sure.
And share. You guys seeing it?
I got it.
Cool.
There.
There we go. So this is him going to where there would be an underage girl. Bam. That's a lot of people.
Good Lord.
So yeah, he has half the force there to tackle him, but
Hey guys, I'm going in the wrong door. Sorry, this isn't my place.
yeah, exactly. I was here to borrow some sugar. So yeah, so that was the video we were talking about from yesterday. But yeah, so underage sex scandal. I mean, man.
Wow.
You know,
I choose door number 1. Here is your prize. Getting tackled by the entire
Bracelets. You
Here
get
are,
these
your,
shady
here are
bracelets.
your new friendship bracelets. Go meet a friend.
Right.
I mean, it always cracks me up. Like you see that on the internet, on TikTok and Instagram on occasion, where you see the guys who solicit older guys to try to get them. Like that's how they play. It's like they're out there on the internet playing vigilante, internet vigilante, and saying, "Hey, I'm a 13-year-old girl," and getting older guys to do all that stuff. It's a shame that it comes to that.
Bye.
Poof.
Okay. Boom.
I guess he. I'm gonna. No,
Tornado.
that's not funny. That's not funny. I was just saying, maybe I hit a nerve. I don't know.
And later on Dateline NBC. StatGuy.
So I'm not exactly sure, but I was going through some of my stuff today, and obviously I was not at the national championship, but I have some of the confetti from the
That's
national
cool.
championship, and I know where I got it. I got it at the Philadelphia airport. I was drinking. I was waiting on a plane. I was at a bar drinking, of course, and the guy sitting next to me was a camera guy who actually was at the national championship, and he grabbed a few of these, and I asked for one, and I
That's
kept
pretty
it.
cool.
So
Heck
I
yeah.
happen to have a 2024 national championship, um, piece of confetti.
Yeah, that,
Which
you went to the
now,
cocktail
after thinking
scene, you
about
look
this,
really good.
I should have had Brandon Graham. Had I known I had it yesterday or
Oh.
Monday, I would have had Brandon Graham sign it,
Hell
or
yeah.
give it to him, really, because it doesn't matter to me. I mean, I could care less about this piece of paper. In fact, I'm sure that within a few hours, this piece of paper is going to be lost forever.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind.
So,
At a
that's
minimum, it'll be all smashed up.
well, no, I was thinking about putting it. I have, like, right above me here, I have a whole bunch of magnets. Where
Yeah, you can just
like,
roll it up and smoke with it. No big deal.
it is. It's that type of paper. I could smoke with it. I'm not good at rolling though. I'm too. My fingers are too big.
That's big. That's another code word for fat. No big deal.
So the other thing that came up in news, like I said, that I got the email a few minutes ago, was that the draft 2026 draft is going to be held in Pittsburgh, and I kind of knew that was coming. You know,
Yeah, they talked about
wanted,
it a month and a half ago. That they were
my thoughts are, my expectations is that they're going to have it at where the fort was. So it'll be like, I don't know.
Oh, I just got a text. Power company just cut his power to deal with the trees.
Oh, got you. Perfect. That's why he's out. Poof.
Yep. Poof,
So,
power's out.
but so Pittsburgh, obviously, that stadium used to be called Three River Stadium for a reason. It's where the Susquehanna, the Monongahela become the Ohio. I think it is the Ohio River.
I think it's Ohio, Mississippi, and
No, it's
one other
not the
one.
Mississippi. No.
Not the
It's the
Mississippi?
Susquehanna, Monongahela turn into the Ohio.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's what happens in Pittsburgh. So in Pittsburgh, because I've done some work in there at that hotel that's right at the point. Literally, there's a street right there, and that's where I think they're going to have it. There's a big area right there that has it was an old fort. They actually have the outline of the fort. They have a couple of bridges coming to there. You can walk over these bridges. They're great. It's great. I kind of think, and that's where they have like that glass castle. It's not really a castle. It's actually a high-rise building, but it kind of gives you the impression of a castle that's close by there. That's where they have those, like a little bit further down from there. You could walk like a few blocks and you're getting those sandwiches, the pimento sandwiches and stuff like that. So I can only imagine that's where they would have it. So right now, if you are interested in going to the draft in 26, if you got a room booked at the Wyndham Plaza of Pittsburgh, the Grand Plaza of Pittsburgh, first off, you'll know that chimney is my chimney. I fixed that chimney. I did.
Right
And
on.
then I've also stayed there a few times, and like I said, I had to do some masonry work on their elevator shafts and stuff like that. So that's where you want to stay. That is exactly where you want to stay. That's on the point. Even if they have it near the stadiums and they do it over there rather than over here, because they also have the Science Center and stuff like that in Pittsburgh over there. If what's his face is still watching here right now, when I say what's his face, I mean as I go, Chad.
Oh, Chad.
Yeah, if Chad's still watching, he can confirm everything that I'm talking about. So, but yeah, that I think it's going to be held right on the point. They have a nice fountain right there. They, like I said, I can't see them doing it anywhere else. Like I said, they have the Science Center and stuff like that, but from there you also see the rail cars that go up the mountain of Pittsburgh and stuff like that. Carnegie Mellon's up there on the hill and such. So there's a lot of different. I'm giving you the layout of Pittsburgh just because I spent a couple of months there. Stat Guy got the generator running. Call the car.
I'm in my car now. That ain't gonna be done in my house for a while.
So I was gonna say they got the generator running. He's at least got the refrigerator working.
That's right.
Yeah.
At least you don't want to open the refrigerator until they're done.
Right.
Oh no.
So
but
that's what's happening in Pittsburgh. That's where I can foresee them having the draft at.
I mean, the outdoor portion, if they did it in that little landing area between those bridges, that would be kind of a neat spot for the outdoor portion. I don't know how big it is, so I don't know.
That's what I'm talking about. So so then you know what I'm talking about. The landing between the bridges is where the old fort used to be.
No, exactly. So that would be like a cool spot for the outdoor portion,
right?
Of the draft. Like that,
and then have like that's where they'd have to build the stadium of sorts. And then they would probably have. So there's bars on either side, and that would be the harder part because Pittsburgh is a lot more centrally located to a lot of places that's why they had so many people in Detroit, because I felt like that you had everybody from Chicago all the way over to Cleveland and anywhere like Cincinnati and everything all came up into Detroit. Pittsburgh's going to have a similar problem. You're going to get the Cleveland crew. You're going to get the Buffalo crew. You're going to get the Philadelphia crew. You're going to get the Washington and Baltimore crew.
New York.
And probably even as far as the Carolina crew. Like the Carolina crew at that point is only a 6-7 hour drive. So, there's going to be a lot of that. And then probably everybody that is in West Virginia might show up. So the moonshine over there might be great.
Let's go.
But I'm excited for it. Pittsburgh's a good town. I mean, I like it. You know, it's obviously I can't stand their hockey team, and Pittsburgh itself has a love-hate relationship with me. They love to hate me.
Sure.
See, that's what I was talking about. See,
Mhm.
not the Susquehanna, the Allegheny. That's where I was messing up.
Allegheny.
Susquehanna is in North Pennsylvania. The Allegheny and Monongahela make the Ohio.
Monongahela.
I just love that our comment section is always the reference section. I'm always a big fan of that.
Exactly. Whoever said that our viewers are dumb, they're wrong.
No,
we're
it's
the
just
dumb
people
ones.
on the show.
Yeah, we're the dumb ones. Yeah, it will be a good time. I'm excited for it and looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. To go out there and like I said, that's a drive. So I'm driving out there. I will probably look now in just about a year and get myself an Airbnb for that spot.
Was it like a 4-hour drive for you?
4.5.
4.5.
Yeah, I mean, because you can only book out like a year, right? So you kind of have to wait anyway.
Yep. So, and where is it next year? I know it's somewhere.
It's in Green Bay.
It's in Green Bay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. See, I knew it was somewhere. I didn't really feel like going, but I'm going anyways.
It's in the hole. It's in the biggest hole in the earth. So I mean,
like I said, I mean, although I did have an interesting time when I was in Green Bay installing computer systems for Kmart. There was the 2 times I had been there. They had this. They didn't have anything out in front of the stadium at that point. They had a big factory next to the stadium, though, and
Hey,
it had this monster mural.
Can you see out my window right now?
Yeah. Is that
Yes.
is that tree in that house?
Yeah, that's the tree that's in the living room right now. It is
Wow.
completely out of the damn ground.
Damn.
That's the one that's in the living room right now. I'm
I'm gonna tell you that trunk is not 10 foot in circumference, though.
Half of it's still in the ground yet. I can't go that way. I'm gonna try to see if I can find the one with the tree house or with the car inside the tree house, but I don't know if they'll let me down that road.
I didn't know we had reporters on our show. This is awesome.
Hey, look at us
On the
getting
ground
live.
coverage.
Oh, what is this? Yeah, it's like all these streets around here are just like that. Like this tree over here, the whole one side of it literally just got snapped off.
Oh yeah.
I mean, people over here are gonna have a grand old time the next 4 or 5 days trying to clean this shit up.
You know, it's not quite the same if you're not standing, getting just pelted with rain while you're doing this.
I mean, the storm is gone now.
You think you could get one of the homeowners to like spray you with a hose while we're punch up the realism?
Listen. I appreciate that you got laid, but can you remove that so that we can actually see instead of?
Yes. Sorry.
Not your crotch.
There we go. We got it. It was stuck to the mirror. But yeah, like the entire this is such a small town. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get the. I don't think you're gonna.
I can just get caught by sir. Get off your damn phone.
Right.
I don't think you're gonna get the car in the tree. They won't let me down that road.
Did they get the car out of the tree already? I'm actually a little bit.
I don't think they got it out of the tree, but they have the road blocked off in a 3-block radius. So I'm not even gonna be able to get close enough to even zoom in enough for you to actually see it because they have fire trucks on the one end and then they have a bunch of utility workers on the other end.
Makes sense.
Got you. Of course, I understand that obviously because people want to get back to normal life, and it's they just had a mess yesterday. So.
Oh, there it is. Hold on.
Oh, here we go. Hold on,
Let's
get
go.
out of the car. Show us and turn it vertical so we
That's
can
right.
see the whole thing.
I will.
Come on now, let's do it.
I'll turn around. They got the car out of the tree, but there is a branch going through the car.
Nice. We're gonna
So
get to see it, and you got to turn it vertical, not horizontal.
Yep, I
so
got
we
it.
can get a full view.
Let me back up. Let me back up.
Yeah, see, Rob, you're
See,
not
this
wrong.
is the type of on the streets reporting that we need on this show.
That's right. Is branches in cars, that's almost a sport.
Exactly.
We also support safe driving on this show. I'm just gonna put that out. We do support safe driving.
You do support safe driving.
If you're going for your driver's test, please don't whip out your camera.
Hold on, I'm almost to the house. All right, we're gonna flip it.
There we go.
And there she bleeds.
Oh, there you go.
Nice. And that was
Right there.
that was up in a
Right there.
treehouse. That's amazing.
Yep, and that branch literally
Wow.
stuck through the driver's side window.
That is fantastic.
Wow.
That's a shame.
And StatGuy just wrecked, but
And what about me?
Hey, Bo, what do you
Disappeared
say?
again.
Take that thing down to the collision shop. You'll get that thing back in a week. You're good.
yeah, it's fine.
Little bit-
They'll have a new car. Insurance will cover that. They'll have a new car. That's got to be covered under some sort of auto insurance.
Yeah, Robert. Your nose hairs, the boogers and crotches. Nothing sacred on this show. We get it all right
And
here
on
on
that
this show.
note, we can
It's
take it right,
the top of the hour.
we can take it right to underage drinking.
There we go. So please stay tuned, and we'll be back right after these important messages. I mean, you can see right now, without LeBron, Lakers are struggling.
Let me tell you about a team I hate, all right? I know the Dallas Cowboy fan is here, so I had to make sure he knew how much I hate this team.
I'm ready. I've often said that the people who run baseball, they try very hard to ruin it.
I'm from Brooklyn. I don't have a problem saying it to his face. Oh, I'm from Brooklyn. Hey, get an each.
Trisha's having a sleepover tonight. Can I go?
I wonder about Lucy's friends. What should I say? I know you're only 10, but one of these days a friend will offer you a drink. And alcohol at your age can lead to so many things. None of them good.
So can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me
I
something.
finished my homework.
Bigger promise. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, "No thanks, not my thing."
Mom.
I promise you. Your real friends won't care. Deal?
Sure.
Really?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Sometimes, all you need to change your life is a sign. A sign that says, "Hank, this is the place you've been looking for." And sometimes that sign is an actual sign that's mounted to a building. 1 second, I'm looking at a sign. I know what you're thinking, and no, I don't love B-dubs just because I'm a buffalo with wings. Frankly, that's offensive and reductionist. Cause this place, come on. It's like they took beer and made it into a place and then gave that place sports and chicken wings. And the people? Cuba. The best. Oh! What the is going on, Marty? This isn't a game. This is trivia. Yeah, this place is kind of like heaven. You know, without needing to get hit by a bus. Let's go, sports bar.
Supporting the needs of our veterans. That's the goal of all of us at Team AmVets. Like Mitch, Carlos, and Kevin from our Welcome Home team that brings furniture to our vets.
We are Team AmVets.
Or Linda from our thrift stores who brings you great bargains every day.
I am Team MVets.
And John, who picks up your thrift store donations that support California veterans programs.
I am Team MVets.
Visit our website or a Team MVets thrift store to donate or shop today.
Join the team!
This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
And we are back for the second hour of Coast to Coast. And we're coming right out of the gate with a question for Jay. What do you think of CD? And, do you still have CDs or are you still working with cassettes?
He's got 8 tracks.
I'm sorry. So he's asking about CD Lamb.
Of course.
Yeah. So, no, what do I think about CD? He's probably one of our best players. It's probably one of the guys that's going to keep us afloat, at least a little bit afloat. So I don't know what he's asking about. Does he think that we should get rid of him or? Well,
no, he didn't show up for the OTAs.
No, they needed to Justin Jefferson. I mean, I'm not going to make nothing out of that just quite yet. I mean, that could be anything.
Yeah, that could mean that he's unhappy and he wants a bigger contract.
And it could be. It could be. And Dallas going to tell him, we ain't got you. So, I mean, it is what it is.
No money for you.
And that's the sad thing, right? I mean, if that is the case, and God forbid if he actually wind up leaving because he wants a bigger contract and they just don't have the cap room to give it to him, I mean, that's just another lingering effect of a bad 3 contracts that Jerry gave out. I mean, they're just still living in that purgatory. They're probably going to live there for a hot minute, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why and then you bring Zeke back. This is a daily reminder of the two. Jesus, what a time to be alive. Just never goes away.
Okay. Well, glad that you feel that way. Other big things that are happening in the NFL. Obviously, they got Pittsburgh hosting the 2026 draft. George Pickens, wide receiver George Pickens, has been in the league for, I think, a couple of years, says, I've only shown 80% of what I can do. I have not played 100%.
That's a great attitude.
Right? Way to take
right, especially for one of the most hard-nosed head coaches in the NFL. That's a great attitude.
Yeah.
Here's a good one that just came out a couple hours ago. NFL to test optical tracking for yardage rulings in preseason. The NFL will trial optical tracking systems for line to gain rulings during the 2024 preseason. If the league is happy with the technology, it could potentially use the systems on a full-time basis in the future. However, using the chains will still be an option. MetLife Stadium and Hard Rock Stadium already had the optical tracking system last season, according to CBS, and the NFL competition committee voted in favor of the preseason trial in March.
Yeah, so they were already using it. So the NFL didn't use it in games, obviously, but you watched it happen in the USFL last year, where they weren't using the chains. It was solely on a 4-camera optical setup, and it worked well. It worked well.
It did. Actually, I was surprised.
Yeah, no, it worked incredibly well. So it's not a shock that the NFL ultimately will probably adopt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no way you could ever get rid of the chains because even when technology goes down, you need to have some kind of way to go out there and measure. So I can't ever imagine the chains completely going away for that reason.
No, I mean you're still going to have the chains, but I mean ultimately you're not going to call them out on the field anymore.
Oh, absolutely, right.
So there won't be that judgment call of did you set the chains down in the right spot?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So here's another interesting thing that comes across the wire on my side. Packers love non-committal on playing in 2024 with current deal.
Perfect.
Jordan Love was non-committal on playing the 2024 season without a new contract. We'll see, Love said. I don't know yet. Love apparently didn't indicate that he
Falling
would.
right down the Brett Favre way of doing things.
No, that's because the Packers were
Always
smart with what they
non-committal.
did last year, and Jordan Love was an idiot.
The 25-year-old signed a one-year extension worth up to $22.5 million with $13.5 million guaranteed last offseason. The deal was a substitute for picking up his fifth-year option.
That's why he's stupid, because the Packers knew that if he ended up playing well last year, which he did, that fifth-year option was going to cost a whole lot more than it's costing this year. So the Packers said, screw it, we'll get rid of the fifth-year option, give you a one-year extension so you're guaranteed to be here anyway. So it ended up turning into be like a 2-year, $30 million contract, as opposed to he probably would have been making $25 to $30 million this year.
Yeah.
Brian Gutekunst. I don't know what. I don't know how you.
Yes.
Gutekunst.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Gutekunst said earlier in 2024 the club would like to get a long-term deal done. I think that will be important for our football team to have some stability there. Jordan and his representation, they're really good people, so we will start working towards that sometime in the next couple of months. He is the 18th highest paid quarterback. Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, and Joe Burrow, who were all selected in the same draft class as Love, all inked multi-year deals worth more than $50 million per year last offseason.
Well, you got to remember, those three guys were actually starting almost since day one. Jordan Love did not start for 3 years, so why would the Packers commit to giving him a long-term extension before they can see what he can actually do?
Exactly.
And I don't agree with a lot of things the Packers do because I can't stand them, but they were very smart with how they handled his contract last year by basically saying, we believe you have something in you, but we're not going to commit to you long-term until you can prove it. So here's a 2-year extension. Show us what you got.
And lastly, in football, Keon White says he misses Bill Belichick yelling and cursing at him.
Who doesn't?
He wants Bill Belichick back.
Who doesn't miss his press conferences?
You know what? I mean, I liked his dog making the picks. I thought that was great. But and to answer your question there, Robert, we've talked a lot about this already. It's going to happen. That's happening. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, it's coming.
Angel Hernandez has made sure that is happening.
Well, it happens in AAA as it is right now.
I like how they do it, that they have the batter or catcher can call for it. You know,
For the electronic strike zone?
can call, they actually can appeal it.
Yeah, so you can only get one per inning, though. So it's not like you can have every batter can be like, no, I don't like that call. I want to challenge it. It's one challenge per, half inning. So when the top half of the first.
That's for Angel Hernandez. Because otherwise, it would already be an automated. Because you just challenge every call.
Oh, yeah.
If Hernandez is back there, you're like, was it? No? Cool. All right.
Well, I think you should get the one call unless you get it right, and then you can get a second call.
Sure.
Yeah, so that poof, you disappear. I kind of feel like it would.
Yeah,
be,
I agree with you. I mean,
or the 15 calls if it's Angel.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Because if what'll start happening is that he calls one, you appeal it, and it was the wrong call. The very next pitch this guy throws is going to be a ball, and it could be right down the center of the plate. I feel like that's going to become a big deal. So that's what's got to happen. If you get it right, you get to call another one. If you get it wrong, you're out of challenges.
Yep.
But then you're going to be screwed. I think the umpires are going to take offense to it,
No, of course.
and then they're going to start making bad calls in all the way around.
Well, especially after you lose one, right? Because then you can't challenge it. They'd be like, oh, okay. Everything's a strike.
Or a ball.
Yeah. No,
One or the other.
Oh, that one's in the stands? That's a strike.
Oh. What, you hit him? You hit the batter in the leg? That's right.
Yep.
Let's go. Get up, guy. You're okay. Get up. Medical. Get him up. Let's go. Get back
That's
in that
right.
box.
Swing. You were swinging strike. Yeah, it's going to be a mess. I think it's going to be a mess. I think they're going to have to do an all or nothing situation.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I mean, you're still going to have a behind the plate, umpire anyway, because you're going to have somebody that can call a play at the plate. But they're just not going to be balls and strikes, right? Like, that'll be automated. And honestly, it's fine. Like, I'm okay with it. Now that we're seeing so many bad calls, and it almost feels like it's on purpose, I'm okay with it switching over. Initially, I was like, I like I like the way it is, traditional wise, right? Keeping that intact. But now, as we continue to watch it get worse and worse call wise, I'm fine with it. Let's just actually get these plays right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's kind of what I keep thinking is that it's going to be it's going to be a matter of time before they don't even need umpires on the field anymore. They have it set up just about right now where they could get every view of a play. They could put cameras all over the place and it'd have the perfect view of, like, you could have it all four sides of a base even.
Yeah, I mean, they basically almost do already anyway. I mean, the plays at all of the bags are all reviewed to make sure that, the foot was down before the ball was in the glove. And I mean, so realistically, they could, if they wanted to do it, they could do it today based on what they already have.
Yeah, I'm looking for a story that talks about it, but it doesn't really say anything. How about that? Ken Griffey Jr. to lead Indy 500 field in a Corvette pace car.
Nice.
Nice. I dig that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Photographer Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
Because that's what he does. He's the photographer now.
Yeah. Him and Randy Johnson both do pro sports.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Red City Connects.
So there is this that's interesting in and you knew this was coming, a problem with the NIL.
Oh.
So Jaden Rashada alleges false promises by Florida coach Billy Napier and others in a lawsuit. So basically they promised him money to not go to Miami. He goes to he signs with the Gators. And let's see. So signs with Florida, signing a staggering 4-year, $13.85 million contract with the Gator Collective, now defunct organization. And even before the first payment of $500,000, they back out of the deal after signing a contract. So he is suing for $9.5 million. That would have been the difference that he lost from the Miami deal that's no longer available to him. And this is the direction I figured the NILs were going to start to go, as they get people to sign and then try and back out of the contracts, to essentially get them stuck at the school and try and get them in for less, or in this case, it sounds like it was more or less like a shell company. So yeah, I mean, this is what I thought would ultimately happen from these NIL deals, is what happens when they run out of money, right? And they are tricking people into signing things that they don't actually have the funding to back up.
So who's going to be on the hook for that? The school itself?
They're going to play a role for sure. Now, it doesn't give the entire list of everybody that is getting sued, but the head coach, the booster club that was the primary, was the lead of, this NIL, and of course the school, right? Because it's put on by them. So those are all going to be co-defendants. I would imagine there's probably a couple more, but yeah, so it's going to be interesting. This one is reported on by The Athletic. So at least it's a reputable reputable news source, and it was released yesterday. So if you're watching and you want to see the article, it is by The Athletic, was put out yesterday.
I am.
But yeah, I mean, all of a sudden you end up with a couple of kids that were doing similar things, right? Because if their collective group for this NIL did this with more kids, right? I seriously doubt it was his one-off, and he's suing for almost 10 mil. I have to imagine this lawsuit is no joke. Like the number with all the with everybody getting into it. I don't know if it's a class action style.
It is going to be a class action. It's the first thing that came to my head.
Yeah, you would think it would have to be. So all of a sudden you're seeing that number balloon in a huge way.
Yeah, like anybody who got screwed ever
exactly.
out of the NIL, whether you're in the NFL right now or not.
Yep.
Like you're going to go after that. I would absolutely do so. You know what's going to happen? There's going to be one school that's going to be worse than everybody else, and they're going to wind up bankrupting the school.
And it could be Florida, because I mean, again, if you got one kid in there for 10 mil, and all of a sudden everybody jumps in and they actually form a class action suit. Now their insurance will probably cover some portion of it, but I would imagine the school eats some of it, and I don't know, gets interesting. Obviously they're early on into this thing, but it's going to be something to watch for sure.
Yeah. I hear you. I think it will be. So it's hey, listen, I'm all for paying the kids, but you got to pay them right. You know what I mean? It's like they got to be able to do it. You can't go ahead and start playing these games with these guys' livelihoods like that.
Yep.
And the school should wind up eating that contract. They're going to wind up having to eat that 13 million. And schools aren't really, these schools make ridiculous amounts of money anyways.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, if you signed a contract, you promised the kid that you got to eat it.
Right.
Plain and simple. It was part of your recruiting package. You eat that. So maybe
with all the money that they draw in from sports programs, they have all the money they need.
Oh yeah, but that school, I mean, let's face it. Maybe not necessarily Florida, but a lot of these schools, the money that they bring in from football funds all of the other scholastic activities.
Oh yeah.
In the school. I mean, I would say that in some of these smaller schools it's even a bigger deal.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, that football TV contract runs the school.
So, and
I can understand that. I'm guessing probably the basketball program would be second behind that, I would imagine then. And
yeah, depending on the school. Yeah.
But you're talking, what did we find out? That even Duke's football program funds their basketball program.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Even though basketball is
Duke, I thought that would have been the other way around.
You would have thought that, yes, but
that's interesting. Okay. Interesting.
And here you go. Here's a good question from Robert. Who would you pay more? Love or Lawrence?
Man, that's tough. I don't even know if I have a good answer for that, because
Lawrence is going to get paid more.
Well, he's going to, but if I was the GM, I don't love either option there. right? Because you got Love, who, let's be honest, we just haven't seen enough out of yet, right? He had half of a good season. And then Lawrence has some very real drawbacks to his game. He has talent, but, you know, he turns the ball over, fumbles a lot. Non-contact fumbles. Those always worry me, because that's just not paying attention while you're on the field, right? So then that's a decision-making issue. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to sign either one of these guys to top dollar, even though that's what the NFL does now. I wouldn't want to sign either one of them to top dollar contracts. Now, the other options aren't good either. So, you know,
right.
They have you over a barrel. Like, you're going to pay them, but you're not going to feel good about it.
Well, yeah, I really don't have an opinion. You know, I think they'd both get paid the same and could care less, because I don't think either one is going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think either one of them are difference makers on their teams. Like, they are that mid-tier, right? Like, they're functional. They can win you games. They're not the difference maker that you need. Now, if you have a solid team around them and you don't ask them to play hero ball, they're going to win games. No doubt. So it's not like they're backups or anything, but they're not the, you know, top 5 elite guys either.
No, I get that.
To answer your question there, Lawrence will get the bigger payday of the two.
Lawrence will get the bigger payday because he's been around a little bit longer.
Exactly.
Yeah, but he has made it further. Jordan Love has made it further than Lawrence so far, so you never know what's going to occur.
They both got to the divisional round.
Did they?
Because remember, the Chargers were up 28-0 on the Jags and lost like 34-31 in overtime.
Oh, yeah.
And that wasn't with Minshew?
Nope, that was with Trevor Lawrence.
Got ya. How long ago was that?
2 years ago, 2022. Yeah. That was the year that Jacksonville won the division.
So that was with
that was with Lawrence.
Doug.
Yeah, that was the
and
second
Doug
year.
Peterson.
Yeah, that was the second year with Doug Peterson. Yeah.
Couldn't have been.
No, first year with Peterson.
Yeah, I was gonna say it had to have been the first year, because I'm trying to think. I'm like, but yeah, I'm just thinking about when that Ohio State coach was dancing with his the young girls.
Yep, good old Urban.
Where are they now? Where is Urban now?
He's back into broadcasting.
Yeah, he's on Fox college football's Fox game.
That really surprised me that he got back into broadcasting so fast after how much weirdness was during that season. Like, he stepped right back into the broadcast booth. That I was surprised. I thought there was enough off the field weirdness during that coaching year that he was going to kind of be held out for a season or two.
Nope. Screw him.
Yep.
You know, he's big with the ladies.
That's right. Banging Betty's at the bar. I like it.
I love it.
Never a dull moment.
No, not with all that stuff that Urban was doing down there.
That's
that was insane.
That is exactly why I thought they were going to hold him out a year. Just distance him from himself.
Right. Didn't he like hit a punter or kick a punter or do something to one of the kickers on their team?
Yeah, he kicked him. Yeah.
Josh Lambo. He kicked Josh Lambo.
Yeah, no, like everything.
His excuse was he was showing Joe Lambo how to kick.
Everything, like if there was a choose your own adventure book, and there was the way you were supposed to take your hero, and then the way that gets him killed, Urban went the way to get him killed every time he had the option. And but somehow Fox is like, "You're our dude."
Yeah. Yeah, there's no controversy that you can get into that's going to keep you from working with us. You always said
That's
that.
right.
As long as you don't get tackled by FBI agents coming out of the building, we're good.
That's right. That's right. As long as there's no video of you beating up somebody and or going after underage girls, you're fine. Because the one thing you knew was the chick you met at the bar was of age, or at least as far as he knew, because she got in.
That's how I like them. Barely of age and with fake ID.
Giggity, giggity.
These views do not necessarily represent all the panelists on this.
Man.
Some of us want to stay free.
Yeah, actually, I listen. You know what? When I take all the pictures that I take, I don't even put my hands on them. You know what I mean? I gotta sit there. I have my I'll just look like I got my arms around them. I don't even touch these girls because it's like that's all I need is somebody to just say, "Oh, he touched me." It was funny. I had somebody touch my World Series patch on my jersey yesterday, and then they go, "I'm sorry for touching you." This is a woman now. I'm sorry for touching you without asking. And I turned to her and I'm like, that's okay. You have my consent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean,
but it's funny that's the world we live in now. So
this is the world we live in.
It is funny when you take pictures with people. You do the floating arm a lot.
Yeah.
Which is something you never used to do. You never even thought about it. You just like, hey, let's take this picture. Cool. And now you're like doing the you're on your first date at a school dance. Like you're not touching the person in the picture.
I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you.
Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, you almost have to take pictures that way now because all it has to be is perceived as you did something wrong and it can be a career ender.
I get nervous when there's a lot of people and I have my arms out and somebody new comes into the picture. And like I always get a little bit funny because like when other girls are coming in the picture and I got my arms out and another girl comes in behind and will like her chest will hit the back of my hand.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, you know what I mean? Now I'm just like, I'm just taking a picture. I'm just taking a picture. You know,
I'm so uncomfortable.
Yeah, because I just don't know. Like you never know what's going to occur. You know what I mean? I did, I don't know. There's just so many different opportunities, and everybody else thinks of things much differently. Like you said, that was the first girl that ever, mentioned something about consent to me ever. Most of the time, they're running and tapping me on the shoulder so that I turn around because when I'm past you, I don't hear anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, yo, Philly sports guy. And then maybe I'll hear you. But if I'm too far away, I'm not going to hear you. Then they come running and they're like, yo, and like, hit me on the back. I'm like,
no, you know why they do that though, is because they're used to it, because they're used to yelling at you from across the house. That's my wife. She only wants to talk to me if she is on the other side of the building. We can be sitting next to each other. Cool. It's going to be quiet, whatever. She'll walk into the bedroom. I'm in the living room. She'll be like saying whatever, but from the other side of the house, it's like, hey,
and then they ask, did you hear me?
Yeah, or I really like the, but I told you. It's like, did you though? I mean, I realize it came out of your face, but did you tell me or did you tell like the 4 rooms in between us?
Yeah. Or you get that one, because my wife always gets up before me when she goes to work, and she'll tap me, hey, don't forget to do this, but she'll say so low, I don't even have an eye open yet. And then she'll get home, well, why was it this time? Well, what the hell did you tell me? And what time did you tell me? Was my eyes open?
Post-it notes exist, right? Just like,
Yeah, and most people, I am very, if they ask me, most people, even if they don't ask me, like I'll take a picture with them. I don't turn anybody down for a picture. But you're right, you can't trust them. You cannot trust them at all.
No,
because it's like it only takes one perceived story that makes it all disappear.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is it doesn't even have to be a real thing. It just, just the accusation of it.
Accusation. Which that was kind of what I was going to ask you guys. Even when you're doing the floating hands and things of that nature, if they can't see where your hands are placed, but they know they're in that type of area, who's to say that they can't? If somebody wants the money or wants something from you, they can't still do the accusation.
You can kind of tell in a pic when you're not touching somebody because the way the shadows from the camera are different, and so you can kind of tell. There's also generally other people around, but yeah, no, I mean, it is a lot of floating hands when you're jumping in pictures with people.
And David is somebody who paints himself up for the New Jersey Devils. He's not putty. He's not putty, just so that you know. And we did it the Stadium Series, and I'm sure he gets pictures when he's not with me, but when I was there, all of a sudden, when I'm with another super fan at any stretch, it comes 3 times as bad.
Sure.
Because it's the first person that says, "Hey, can I get a picture with the both of you?" that the second person sees and says, "Oh, me too." And then it becomes a group thing where everybody wants a picture, and it becomes it's a much harder thing to kind of navigate.
It's not perfect. Like sometimes you end up touching somebody just because of where you are, right? But
and I tell you, a lot of these, especially these younger girls, they love putting their hand on my ass. It's like not, and I'm not talking kids. I'm talking 20-somethings. You know what I mean? Kids are a lot more. Kids are more nervous.
Sure.
To talk to me. You know what I mean? They're too shy in most cases. So I'm not talking that. But the 20-somethings aren't shy. And they will, like, I go to put my arm around them, and I usually rest, like, my forearm on their shoulders. Because that's the way to do it. Like, so that you can almost see my hands, and it looks like I could go like this or whatever, and you could do whatever. I can do whatever I want. But they'll come up and they put their arm around me, or they'll snuggle up inside of me and look all types of sexy. And I'm sitting there going,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
They also have liquid courage in them that the kids won't, right? Because they are just in their early 20s, which means they've had all the drinks before they got to the game, and then all the ones they had at the game. I remember going to the stadium early 20s. Like you were half in the back when you showed up.
Heck yeah, because them beers at the stadiums are expensive.
They are, and I mean, especially if you were going to football games because you're tailgating all day. Like you were hoping for the evening game because you still started tailgating at 8:00 in the morning.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. When I lived in Wisconsin, we used to go all the time to Green Bay, and I never went into Lambeau. We always tailgated in the parking lot of Lambeau, but that is a lot of fun.
So Seattle actually has a fun tailgating section, and so one of the times I was down there, we were playing beer pong, right, and we had all the beer in the back of this guy's Tahoe, and these cops roll up, right? And you can't drink outside, but the cops aren't there they're there to make sure people don't get in fights and stuff like that. Like they're not trying to bust you for stuff. So they're like, "Hey guys, you have to at least hide what's in your solo cups. Like if we just see solo cups, we think, hey, maybe it's lemonade. We don't know, right? But if we can see the boxes of beer, we can put that together. So at least like shut the hatch." We're like, all right. So then they're like, "Can we play with you guys?" And we're, yeah, hell yeah, that's awesome. So obviously they weren't drinking, right? So every shot they made, they were making us drink, right? They were good at beer pong. So, they were just sitting there getting people messed up, and they're like, all right, we got to keep it moving. It's like, you guys have fun. Keep the doors closed. We're like, fair enough. Like a couple of the coolest cops, that were trolling the tailgate section. So it's fun. It's fun.
Got you. Nice.
It's always good when a police experience is a positive one.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't like the negative ones.
Yeah.
The club owner of the night at the Roxbury.
That's right.
You sneaky devil. You know what? It's funny that you say that. It's older women, when I'm in my football pants, it's older women. Like if I feel like somebody pinching my ass and I go to turn around, it's always like a late 40s, early 50s-year-old woman, maybe even a little older, that's running away.
Oh, funny.
Because like that's an old thing to do. Pitch your ass and run away. It's like an Italian thing. You could
unless it's like an 80-year-old lady, and then she'll stay standing there.
Yeah, she's like, hey, honey, I got you.
Yep.
I got you like I got my false teeth.
That's right. And you can't even fault them for it. You're like, well played. Well played.
But it's always different. It's always different scenarios, and you got to be very careful. So, but such is life. I still can stick by my motto that the Philly sports guy has never been late.
There you go. There you go. And to answer your question there, Rob, we didn't drive home from there. We went to the game. That's the tailgating's before the game.
Yeah, after the game, it's
that
definitely not.
That game time window levels you out.
Yeah. Well, and besides, I actually took the bus down. So I just jumped on one of the buses that takes you right downtown Seattle, drops you off at the stadium. So,
But that's what I love about like Ubers and stuff. You can do whatever you want nowadays, with Ubers and all these things that are out there now. I mean,
well, parking's just gotten so expensive that it doesn't even make sense to drive down anymore. Because you're going to drive down, you're going to drop at least a C note on parking, and your car's probably still going to get broke into. So then you got that to deal with because you're, in Soto, so that's not great. So yeah, usually I end up just taking the bus or something down. Or I'll ride down with somebody that's going to be in the tailgating section because obviously cops hang out there.
And right across the street's a dispensary, so you could always just go over there and go get some pot before you go over to the tailgate.
You could. I mean, I don't partake in it, but there's also some nice bars around. So.
Oh, it's okay. It's legal now in most places. It's okay to say it if you need to.
Thanks, David. You have a good day as well.
Yeah, no, it doesn't do anything for me. I for whatever reason, I have a really dumb tolerance to it. So for me to get anything out of a gummy, it has to be 100 milligram gummy.
Oh, I got some of them.
Yeah. But no, I mean, like if you buy them at the store, your average gummy is like a 10 milligram, right?
Yeah.
So I'd have to eat the entire bag for me to actually get anything out of it. And it lasts for about an hour. So it's pointless.
I tell you, when I was out in Michigan, I grabbed some of their popcorn.
Okay.
And I tell you, that's some good stuff. That is some good stuff. I gave a couple of kernels away to some people. They're like, "Wow, this is good. Doesn't even taste like it at all." And they were like, "Whoa, this is."
No, so probably one of the funnier ones is so my wife will do edibles, right? And so she'll make them,
right?
And so she'll make like chocolates and stuff like that. And one of the times she didn't think about it, made all of these and then like licked the spoon like you were making any other chocolate candy, and she was on another planet. So it was like, oh.
I remember
trying to play
the wife did a gummy one time.
I was like, you realize like you're like this close to drooling on yourself. Like I know what happened.
Bad when you're drooling on yourself. That's when that's that whole other level. Yeah, me and the wife did a gummy one time, just like you talked about. And it was 100 milligrams. But I didn't know it at the time. We just our first time ever doing it. And so we each took one. She had one, I had one. We went to bed. I got the next morning, I got to go to a dentist appointment. I get out of bed. I slam into the floor. Like I can't even stand up. The wife, I said, Mel, help me up. She hits the floor. I said, what the hell is going on with us? It's like, I don't know, but I got to be at this one. I had to call an Uber, and we had to crawl out. Then I almost crawled out to the car to get in the Uber to go to the damn dentist point. And that's the first time I've ever had messed with the CBD. So yeah, you're right. You have to cut those things up. Otherwise, damn.
Yeah, well, and again, for me, like they don't really work, and even once they finally do, it doesn't last very long. So I just drink. It's fine.
And there's nothing better when you and your wife both can't feel your legs, and you're like, "What do we do?"
You sleep.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You just call in, cancel that.
Sleep it off.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that, Rob.
Yeah, it was just like the joke I heard the other day.
I don't need to do anything that I need a wheelchair after. Speaking of pooping the bed, no thanks.
Hey, he even gives you a wheelchair. And I mean, that's how much he cares for you, man.
Man.
Yeah, it was like a joke I heard
Anyway.
the other day. Yeah, so I go out to Ireland and I'm going to go play some. Run into this guy here, and he says, "Am I frozen here?"
Yeah, a little bit.
My computer keeps going weirdo.
It's made for some.
Am I frozen?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
Yep.
I remember one time that's the dumbest quote. I went to a tattoo. So when I was getting my sleeve done, my tattoo artist would always give me, a little whatever. And one day he was in there and he had some cookies, just some random cookies. And I didn't think nothing about it, man. I was all in pain and stuff from the tattooing it. And he gave me some cookies. Hey, have some cookies. And I'm like, all right. And they came out a bunch of regular things. I thought it was my regular. I popped those things in my mouth. I get halfway down the road, and everything just went crazy. And it started kind of like the car doing. I thought I was on the ocean. My car was on the. Okay, this ain't good. So I pull into this gas station. I park my car, and I'm looking around, and it's like all these people I feel like are looking at me, and I'm like, "Oh, this is not good." So I panic, and so I call my wife, and I'm like, "Hey, Mel, something's going on. I ate some damn. No, I got these cookies from Jay."
So
and Mel goes, "Don't eat the cookies." I said, "Well, I ate some cookies." It's like, "Oh my god." I said, "Yeah, Mel, they're everywhere." I said, "The cops are everywhere. They're looking at me. I don't know what's going on." And she's like, "Well, where are you at?" Oh, no, hold on. So she had that Live 360. She's like, "Jay, you pulled into the gas station in front of a police station. There's cops everywhere. I'm hungry. We'll get out and go get something." I said, "I can't. Why not?" I said, "I feel like if I get out, I'm going to fall down." That was the craziest moment of my life. Like, when you're like afraid, like I'm sitting there thinking like, "Oh my God, I'm a walking DUI in this month. If I get out, if I do anything stupid, I'm going straight to jail. It's not a hard walk across the street."
I feel like this is probably a story that should have been not broadcast on.
I love the fact that she's got a Life 360 on you so that she can know where your ass is all the time. It's like putting the chip. I got that chip in the tooth. You know what I mean? I got the tooth and the chip. You know what I mean?
But I did learn a valuable lesson. Never take anything from a tattoo artist. I'm just saying. It never turns out like you think it's going to.
Yeah, that's like you don't want to eat an unbranded mint at a nightclub. Like, what are you talking about? You're going to be staring at the wall covered in dragons by the end of the night if you do that.
Oh, man, what a time.
Man.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the difference is between CBD and CBN. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. They got so many letters out now. It's crazy.
Yeah. Anyways, so whenever your wife Bo wants to make me some edibles and send them my way, just have them mail them. I'll be good.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can send them through the mail.
Don't worry. I'll worry about that problem.
I think they probably get snagged along the way as the problem. Oh, yeah?
Listen. If somebody wants to arrest me because your wife decided to send me a little bit of pot edibles, then they want me for something else.
Well,
they got me for something else.
No, that's definitely true. I just don't know that they'd make it through the facility. It seemed like they would
tell her to make chocolate peanut butter, and the peanut butter throws off everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you I could tell you exactly how to get away with if you wanted to ship loads of pot somewhere through the mail, you could do it. but you just got to follow. Like you got to you take a cardboard box, and it's got to be a bigger cardboard box, and you got to line that cardboard box with peanut butter and then coffee grounds. And then you put the other cardboard box inside of that cardboard box. You load up the stuff, and then you put you wrap that in like
you've been mailing cocaine, is what you're saying.
Hey, watch this. Hey, Bo. Now, I feel like this is probably something we shouldn't be saying on TV.
Right. Yeah. Just if you're watching, just ignore the last 20 minutes of the show. That being said, be sure to like and subscribe.
And you never know on Coast to Coast. Just never know. God forbid.
Oh man!
I just got a box. So this show called Coast to Coast. Somebody better start this.
Yeah, that's right.
Like there might be something in there.
Well, it would be meant more for. It'd be meant more for the. I don't know. It would be. Yeah, you're saying it, but it would take away the smell.
Yeah, no, it's literally how you coffee grounds. Literally how you hide coke.
Well, yeah, but the coffee grounds just throws off that throws off the dogs.
Exactly.
But the peanut butter is what throws off. It throws off the pot smell.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Didn't we learn anything from Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop?
Yeah, that's right.
Coffee ground.
Coffee ground.
That was Beverly Hills Cop 1.
Yep.
And this ain't sugar.
Is that the man who wrecked the buffet at the Howard Club this morning? Is that the man
who stuck the banana up the tailpipe?
Yep. Man, it's been a long time since I watched that. I'm gonna have to watch that again.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, exactly. How to mail drugs cross country. Welcome to Coast to Coast. And you know, it actually makes sense.
USPS endorsement.
Coast to Coast.
I feel like the U.S. Post Office owes us an endorsement. That's all. Helping them out.
ATF maybe.
Yeah. And we will all go down together.
Could you imagine if they came and got all four of us, put us in the same spot, and then said, "Jay, your roommate's Philly sports guy."
Hey, you know what? Just bring the mics. We'll still do this.
That would be fun.
So, in Houston, you want to talk about this? You guys have a super fan down there.
Yeah.
Who goes by Toucan Dan.
Yeah, I know.
And he's a great guy. He's a great guy. I was talking to somebody who's going with him to the Hall of Fame game because they're putting in a Panther and a Chicago Bear. So I think Devin Hester's going in, and they're rooming together. And I said, listen, I love Toucan Dan, but I hope you're a partier. I hope you're a partier because he's a partier. He definitely knows how to party. And he's like, well, I was thinking about being his designated driver. I'm like, no, not happening. You're not a designated driver. You are a designated participator.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going to participate.
That's right. You're the designated drunk. Let's do this.
Don't think that you're going to get away with not partying. It's just that's the way it is. That's the Toucan Dan way. And he was actually a Houston Texan fan of the year, and awesome. He was the one that got me into getting into game 1 and game 6 for the Astros. And I was out there in center field with the DJ. That's a very specific spot that you don't get in. You don't get in that area unless you know somebody. And I knew those guys. And that's why they wanted me there because obviously, again, having me there is perfect, because I'm doing my thing. And, when we won game 1, I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, we got this. This is our house and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, but I do actually have a promo before we get out of here. So at the 1 o'clock hour Pacific time, 4 o'clock Eastern, on the next show coming up here on Roku is Coach's Corner, and we're going to have last year's interim head coach of the Panthers, Chris DeVore, come on. And we're going to talk to him a little bit about how crazy that organization is, get his take on Tepper throwing a drink at a fan, and see what kind of weirdness was inside that organization. So it should be kind of a fun conversation. So if you're watching and you want to hang out for that show kicks off in 2 hours, should be fun.
Yeah, that does sound like a fun show. I'd love to hear all the weirdness that happened in Carolina.
Absolutely.
And that still happens in Carolina.
You should ask him how much he hates Bryce Young.
Well, it's funny because he was on the staff through all of these changes over the last couple of years. So he ended up being the last interim head coach, but he went through the 3 other head coaches in the year and a half before him. So it's got to be a wild conversation.
Yeah, I have to imagine because, I actually liked the Baylor coach. He was at Temple for a little while, brought Temple to a bowl game. So, and then he went to Baylor, and then he went to the Panthers, and then he got let go from the Panthers, and
He didn't go to Baylor. He's in Nebraska now.
he's in Nebraska now, but he was at Baylor before he went to the Panthers.
I thought it was just Temple to Carolina.
No. Temple to
Rule.
Baylor to Carolina.
Okay, so Matt Rule.
Matt Rule.
Yeah.
So
I like Matt Rule.
Matt Rule was good. I liked him. So, but we are at the top of the hour, so you're going to get to see from me our outro here because we do have an outro now. So listen, even though we do tell you how to disperse of paraphernalia and other things across the country, don't take us seriously. This is only for entertainment purposes only. So just so you don't sue us if you go ahead and try it and it fails.
That's
All
right.
Just
and
you know.
again, if you are entertained, be sure to like and subscribe.
That's exactly correct. Are you not
And
entertained?
Exactly.
And I'm old and I don't even know where I'm at or who these people are. I just show up, apparently.
So tomorrow's show is only going to be a rerun. So we're not going to be posting because we are stuck doing a bunch of different things. I'll be at a Phillies game. Bo is going to be at work. And Jay is going to be moving the ocean further away from his house. And StatGuy is going to be cutting down trees. So anyways, tomorrow is a day off for us all. We will be back on Friday to talk about everything that happened Thursday and Wednesday. Everybody have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you on Friday. Take care.